everyone, Stormy Strike here, and in this video I'm going to be doing a recap on BreyerFest 2021 and then talk about my thoughts on the announced BreyerFest 2022 Prost. BreyerFest 2021 went really well. Overall, it was even better than last year's virtual BreyerFest. Everything went a lot smoother. There were very few technical difficulties and not really any major issues. Last year in 2020, which I thought was still good, but there were some issues and technical glitches that caused some problems and things of that nature. Like I said, this year just overall a lot smoother. It probably helped a lot that they had a lot more time to plan and prepare for this BreyerFest. The live broadcast was great. Kimber and Jamie were great. It was awesome that they had so many model horse hobbyists come onto the live broadcast, like the Kellys in the archive room, Mares in Black, and artists like Minnie Berg. It was just really nice that they were able to incorporate more of the model horse community this year. As for shopping, I was happily surprised to see that none of the limited edition models sold out. At least they hadn't the last time I checked on Sunday evening. I wish I would have known that on Friday morning so I wasn't freaking out trying to get Kaleidoscope and the plush. I tried to purchase those models as fast as I could, thinking they might sell out, and ended up doing like way too many orders I kind of didn't mean to do, but I was just worried they were going to sell out on me. But they didn't sell out at all during the whole weekend, so that's kind of nice that people were able to get those models if they wanted them. So even though Breyer didn't do any restocks this year, I think overall it actually did work out really well because most of their items were still available. There were some things that did sell out, like the glasses and the tumbler and the mug, and the Team Glossy and Matte stickers, plus a few other things. But for the most part, things did not sell out, and they also didn't sell out immediately. When they did sell out, it was usually later in the day on Friday or Saturday. Also, I'm sorry, I don't really have like good pictures of all the swag stuff besides these screenshots. I was kind of dumb, and I forgot to save pictures and screenshots of the different BreyerFest swag and whatnot this year. Now, of course, most of the grab bags did sell out right away on Friday morning, like within minutes. And because there were so many people buying these things all at once, there was issues where it would take a long time for an item to be added to your cart. Of course, once traffic on the purchasing died down, that issue went away, and it was all fine after that. It really isn't surprising that the grab bags sold out so fast, and even at BreyerFest before it went virtual, it's kind of always been like that. They didn't have grab bags at the in-person BreyerFest, but their warehouse finds and things of that nature tended to sell out very quickly. You either had to be in that store line hours before opening, or you had to be there just at the right moment at the right time when they restocked something in the Breyer store. So unfortunately, just getting grab bags and warehouse finds, things of that nature, is kind of always going to be kind of difficult. Surprisingly, there were 2 grab bags that actually didn't sell out this weekend, at least again from what I last noticed when looking on Sunday night at the store. There was a t-shirt grab bag that still had 2 sizes left, and then there was a Celtic Flings memory grab bag, which was $300, and I was actually very tempted to buy it, but I had already spent more than I planned to BreyerFest weekend, so I ended up refraining from purchasing that, but I was so tempted just from the fact that it was still sitting there and no one had bought it. I did manage to get a different grab bag, however, on Friday morning. It wasn't my top choice of grab bags, but it sounds like it'll still be a lot of fun to open. It's called the Blast from the Past Memories Grab Bag 2013 to 2017. It is supposedly BreyerFest stuff in that grab bag. It, for some reason, doesn't say it in the title, and I can't go back right now and look at what the description is because they took all that stuff off. But I think it was all just BreyerFest stuff. Now that grab bag may have some items I already have because I did go to BreyerFest in 2016, but I did not go in 2013, 2014, or 2017, so I'm really excited and hoping that there might be some things in there that I don't have. Again, I can't read the description of it anymore, and I should have took a screenshot of it and I didn't think to, but I believe it said that it had both models and swag in it, so I'm excited to find out what'll be in there. And I, of course, am going to be opening that up on camera with you guys whenever that arrives. Also about shopping in the BreyerFest store, Breyer surprised us all with the option to pre-order the traditional scale limited edition models in Glossy, kind of like how they did last year. Those models won't be shipping out until December because it does take them a few months to make the models. I did cave and bought all of them in both matte and glossy because I just couldn't resist. I love all 3 of the store specials this year. They just are beautiful. As for special runs, I got very lucky this year and got all of my choices, including the infamous and elusive Pollock, which I honestly still can't believe I was able to get him. I was really expecting that he was not going to show up in my choices, so I was just very surprised that I pretty much got my perfect match selection of models, actually. The only minor thing I would have wanted differently is another surprise model instead of Ansel, but that's completely fine. I'm actually really curious to see Ansel in person, so I'm very happy with getting him. Plus, I still got 5 surprise models, which is usually more than I normally get, so that is just going to be a heck of a lot of fun to open up on camera with you guys. I don't normally buy this many special runs at BreyerFest, but this year Breyer just really knocked it out of the park with these models, and I couldn't help but splurge on them this year. I did do one of the live workshops this year, which were the ones that went on sale back in May, and they would ship you the supplies for the workshop. I did the Carousel Horses workshop with Laura Rocksmith. It was very informative, and I'm so glad I was able to do it, because I probably wouldn't get the chance to have done that workshop if it hadn't been virtual. This workshop has been around for a while, and I've been wanting to do it for a few years, but at in-person BreyerFest, it was always at a bad time for me. It just wouldn't work with my schedule for whatever reason. Yet now I finally got to do it, and I would definitely recommend anyone interested in it to give it a try at Future BreyerFest if you can. I don't know for sure that they'll bring it back, but I'm sure they will because it has always been one of their most popular workshops. Breyer did fortunately say that they are leaving the BreyerFest pre-recorded content up until July 31st for ticket holders. This includes the live broadcast recordings, the workshops, the seminars, the live meet and greets, all that fun stuff. I am very glad about this because I definitely did not get to watch all of the content I wanted to this weekend. Breyer did give us another little sneak peek, you could say, about the surprise model. Jamie showed the surprise model in one of the surprise model bags, which are pink this year. And based on that, I am getting rid of my original top guess of the surprise being Bobby Joe, because that bag is far too flat and thin and long to be Bobby Joe. Doesn't matter how they package her, she is going to be a lot more like a square than a flat and thin rectangle. My new top guesses are Wyatt, Dundee, and the Arabian Mare. There's been a ton of speculation based on these clips, by the way, even speculation that there isn't even a model in there, or that the model in the bag isn't the surprise model and is just a random model Breyer put in there, and that Breyer is just kind of punking us out with that. Honestly, who knows? We will find out semi-soon enough. There is all kinds of different little things of people speculating if they think they saw pegs or hooves. Is this a foot? Does it mean anything that she held the bag up vertically? We don't know. There's so many different ways you could interpret this. And we're actually going to have to be guessing for a little bit longer, because so far it seems like we are not going to find out the surprise model is as soon as I originally thought. No one has gotten shipping notices yet for their BreyerFest models, and there actually is some information that says that BreyerFest models are not going to be shipped out until the week of the 26th, which is next week. So we might have to wait another week, guys, until we see what the surprise model is. At least they did give us that teaser to keep us busy for a while, I guess. And I think that's about all I have to talk about for BreyerFest 2021 recap. I still have BreyerFest 2021 videos happening soon, of course, because I have however many models I have got to unbox with you all and to talk about the surprise model, but that covers the majority of what I wanted to say. Now we move on to the part of the video where we talk about BreyerFest 2022. Breyer announced the theme and the dates, which are July 15th through 17th, 2022, and the theme is Prost, which means cheers in German. Yes, it is a German-themed BreyerFest, and I will talk more about the theme in a minute. However, I first want to talk about a question which I keep seeing on social media, even though Breyer has addressed this many times now, and that is if next year will be virtual or in person. The answer is that it'll hopefully be both. Breyer has stated several times, even since BreyerFest 2020, that they will be keeping a virtual component to BreyerFest every year. Next year, they are hoping to do it in person and virtual. Of course, there can't be the guarantee of an in-person one right now, just because of our current world situation is still a little uncertain on what our future will be, but it does look a little bit more hopeful than it did a year ago, and so hopefully everyone will continue to get their vaccines, and we can continue to get towards that brighter future and have in-person BreyerFest next year. I am going to continue from here on out, assuming that BreyerFest will be in person next year, unless something happens and we all start thinking otherwise. I'm going to start talking like it'll be in person next year. I'm sure by the time Breyer announces a lot of their BreyerFest news around December and January, they will talk more about what they're planning, and for sure or not if it's going to be in person and all those things. Now, we don't have too much info beyond the fact that it will hopefully be in person and online next year. Some of the Breyer staff even said on a Mirrors in Black live stream that they don't know how it's going to work out exactly next year either. They haven't gotten to that point in planning yet, so they don't even know yet. There's no further information right now other than the BreyerFest 2022 dates and theme. I do want to throw out thoughts and speculations, however, on what a hybrid, virtual, and in-person BreyerFest might look like in the future, and I think it could be absolutely incredible. Just imagine if Breyer did the live broadcast from the Kentucky Horse Park. How freaking awesome would that be? I imagine it's probably a headache to organize something like that, but I think it could technically be doable. I think there are places in the Kentucky Horse Park where they could set up a broadcast-like room, like what they did for Virtual BreyerFest in New Jersey. They could have Kimber come back to host it and give updates on all the things happening live at the horse park, and bringing in maybe different guests to talk about what's going on as things are happening. They could do a live stream of the covered arena like they did this year on Friday. If you missed it, they did do a live stream from the Kentucky Horse Park of horse demonstrations in the arena. The only bad thing is they would have to find a place to squeeze in all the cameras and camera crew, and the covered arena is already very, very crowded. But I think they could make something work. I do almost wonder if they would have to anyway maybe move some of the vendors out into like a different tented area outside or something maybe, because I do feel like it's going to be kind of hard to fit everything in the covered arena, but I'm sure something could be worked out if they did want to do a live broadcast of the covered arena performances. I just think the idea of them possibly in the future doing the live broadcasts from the horse park would just be so cool, because then those that are participating virtually will probably really feel like they're actually there at BreyerFest because they get to see things happening as it is happening there at BreyerFest. It would just be amazing! Of course, prior to BreyerFest, for the virtual things, they could still do more pre-recorded content, like getting more one-on-one time with the guest horses and their owners and things of that nature. I just can't stop thinking about how cool that would be. I admittedly actually don't know a whole lot about live broadcast television and how it all works. I never took any classes about that kind of subject when I was in college, so I honestly just don't know very much about it. But I do imagine it's kind of difficult finding all the space to do all that, to have all the cameras set up and the camera crew, and to have the internet bandwidth to pull that all off. But at the same time, it would also be hard, I feel like, if they split up their Breyer staff in New Jersey and Kentucky. I mean, there's part of the Breyer staff that's always going to be in New Jersey to do customer service and such. But so much of the Breyer staff is important for both events, so it makes sense if they were kind of doing it all in the same location, instead of in New Jersey and in Kentucky. Instead, maybe doing it all in Kentucky, even if it's maybe not necessarily all at the horse park, but just somehow all in Kentucky. It would make sense if they were doing it all from there. Hopefully that makes sense. And also a reminder, this is just me speculating my own hopes for future BreyerFests. Please don't start any rumors that this is what they're going to be doing, because as I said, we don't know, they don't know, we don't know how it's going to be yet in the future. But I do like to speculate about things and come up with ideas. And I just think incorporating in-person and virtual BreyerFest together in that way would just be spectacular. Let's do some more speculation on what this kind of hybrid event might be in the way of contests and models. When it comes to the contests, I think the majority of them will be moved back to in-person BreyerFest, and the reason being they have less restrictions on when it's in person. They can accept entries from anyone, regardless of which state or country they live in, aside from the Best Customs contest. I think it's also generally better for judges to see those entries in person and not just in photos. So with that, I do see the diorama, costume, and Best Customs contest all going back to in-person BreyerFest. But I don't think that means they won't have something for virtual participants as well. Either they'll do a completely new contest that is just for the virtual ticket holders, maybe something that works really well just being based on photos, or they may do a just separate virtual version of some of these contests they already have. Maybe they'll still have like the diorama contest, for example, but they'll just have a virtual version instead. For model horse shows, I'm thinking of kind of the same thing, that they will probably move them to in-person, but maybe they will also keep some kind of virtual aspect or version of them as well. Maybe they will keep doing these photo shows, or maybe they'll do some live model horse show clinics instead. Maybe something along those lines. If they kept doing the photo show, they could just keep kind of what they're doing now, where they keep the photo show prizes as models that are neat but not worth a huge amount. But then at the in-person open show, they can bring back those crazy prize models that people will basically try and kill each other over. As for other BreyerFest models, it would only make sense for them to offer the same limited edition models to both in-person and virtual. They'll probably split up the quantities somehow, maybe based on the ticket numbers, and then offer those models to both in-person and virtual ticket holders. I think that's what makes the most sense, at least to me. I could see the same going for the special runs. X amount dedicated to virtual ticket holders, and then Y amount dedicated to in-person ticket holders. With the VIP tickets, if they bring those back, which I think they will, if they do an in-person VIP ticket thing, the VIP ticket holders maybe get to do what they did this year, where they purchase 2 special run models ahead of time, and then maybe at in-person BreyerFest, they go pick them up at the special run tent in a separate line. I seriously do think the VIP tickets are going to come back next year. It's like, why wouldn't they bring them back? The VIP tickets sold out instantly. I just don't see why they wouldn't want to bring those back again. BreyerFest tickets as a whole have changed so much within these past 2 years. We've had like the same BreyerFest ticket system for so long at in-person BreyerFest, but now that it's virtual, just so much is changing regarding the tickets. I honestly won't be surprised if we have like 5 or 6 different ticket types next year because of it being virtual and in person. With a virtual and in-person BreyerFest, there is also the question and possibility of some models being exclusive to either. I think the vast majority of models will be the same for both events. I think the only main differences I would imagine would be the prize models and raffle models. I could absolutely see them having the fancy raffle models be only for the in-person BreyerFest because they want people to purchase raffle tickets for those. Whereas online, they have more restrictions on how they can do the raffle models. I think they might still do some raffles of some sort on virtual BreyerFest, but it just might not be for the crazy expensive rare limited models. It might be for something else. Or maybe it will still be for something that's rather rare, but just not quite as rare and special as the regular BreyerFest raffle models. It is possible they might do 1 or 2 models that are only for virtual BreyerFest or in-person BreyerFest, like a limited edition stablemate, for example. Maybe like 1 for virtual BreyerFest and then 1 for in-person. But I honestly think for the most part, they're really going to want to keep the models the same across the board. It just makes sense, and I feel like it would just be a lot more work for them to try and do models for in-person and then models for virtual. It's just a lot less work if they just have the same types of models for both events. I'm also sorry this video is probably getting pretty long. I just can't help myself and can just talk about BreyerFest for hours and hours and hours. As we get towards the end of this video, though, let's talk a little bit about the BreyerFest theme, Prost. I am personally really excited about this German-themed BreyerFest, and I know many other collectors, both from Germany or not, are excited about this as well. This is a really cool country for a BreyerFest theme. There are a lot of horse breeds that come from Germany. There are lots of warm bloods, draft horses, and even some ponies. I'm already speculating that we'll see the celebration horse be a draft or warm blood. I think it could maybe also be a pony too if it was like on the flash mold. I don't think they'd make the celebration horse much smaller than that, however. I'm really hoping that the celebration horse is also going to be on a popular mold that almost every collector likes. For example, Totalis or Salinero, or maybe even Georg or Shannondale. How cool would that be? We'll probably get a lot of fun names for these special runs and limited edition models, probably names based after German locations, or German names, or various things from German culture. Germany does have a lot of rich culture and history and folklore that could all be explored. And for you fellow fairy tale fans, there is a lot of fairy tales that originate in Germany. Basically all of the classic Grimm fairy tales like Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, Cinderella, or as her name is known in German, Aschenputtel. I really hope we get a model named Aschenputtel. It's just such a fun name to say, and it reminds me of when I took German classes in high school, because that's when I learned about that. There are honestly just so many fun German names and words they could use for models. As a whole of just things in general that might be explored in this BreyerFest is the fact that there's a lot of cool places in Germany. There are castles and beautiful cities and countrysides. As for people, there are a bunch of famous German scientists, artists, composers, and musicians. Of course, we even have our own hobbyists that come from Germany. In fact, one of Breyer's prolific sculptors, Brigitte Eberl, is even from Germany. Odds are she has sculpted a mold you like a lot because she has sculpted a bunch of popular Breyer molds. Like with most BreyerFest themes, there are just a ton of possibilities on the different ways they could explore this theme and culture. I am really excited about it, and I wish they would announce the diorama contest and costume contest rules already, because I just want to start coming up with ideas for that and working on them. But alas, I'm going to have to wait till January for that information to come out probably. I do really want to enter at least one of the Breyer contests this year. I haven't entered any of them in the past 2 years, and I'm just really itching to give one of the contests another go. Lastly for this video, my own status with BreyerFest next year is that if it's in person, I will be there. Unless, of course, something out of my control comes up, but I am planning on being there at BreyerFest. Hopefully I will be driving again, and that means I'd be able to bring lots of models and other fun things to sell out of my Clarion room. Of course, all the specifics won't be worked out until closer to BreyerFest, but I plan to be there and sell lots of stuff, hopefully. I also can't wait to film a new experience video series, because this time I will be able to use my big, beautiful, expensive camera and hopefully shoot a ton of beautiful, non-grainy clips of BreyerFest and the horses. I am just crazy excited about that. In a way, it's actually been nice for me having these 2 years of virtual-only BreyerFest, because the last time in 2019 when I went to BreyerFest, I was kind of burnt out on filming the experience videos, and I was still using my fairly low-quality camcorder. But now, with a new camera and a break from filming BreyerFest things, I'm just extra energized to film during BreyerFest this year. Because I will be at BreyerFest in person, I will probably not be able to do the virtual events I have done these past 2 years during BreyerFest week. However, I may still do them. If I do, they would just have to be a few weeks before BreyerFest. It will really just depend on how things go and what my time will look like, but I will still try to do at least one little thing. I believe that is about it for me to talk about BreyerFest 2021 and 2022 for now. If you are new to BreyerFest and the world of Breyer, I recommend checking out some of my past videos. I have done several BreyerFest experience videos if you want to get a taste of what in-person BreyerFest is like. I also have a few videos about surviving BreyerFest. I do still plan on making some new updated survival guide videos between January and July of next year. Let me know in the comments below how your BreyerFest 2021 went. What was your favorite thing that you watched? What was your favorite model that you got? What are your thoughts on BreyerFest 2022? And do you plan to attend in person or virtually? Thank you all for watching. I hope you had a wonderful BreyerFest weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!